Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to Talking Town. I am your host, the Gov, looking forward to discussing a new signing like London Buses. Well, I suppose it's only the 5th of January. We're not waiting too long, have we, to be fair? 5 days, 2 in a week. Can't grumble. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts this evening on the latest arrival. I've just dropped the link so you can click it to have your say. You can get active in our live chat. We have got Dan from Rovers Chat joining us very shortly to give us the lowdown on our new arrival. But before we do, don't forget we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. Are you a sports enthusiast who loves football and cricket? And do you want to support the life-saving work while having fun and winning cash prizes? Of course you do. I hear you scream at home. Look no further than Match Bingo, the ultimate interactive game that lets you, yes, you, play alongside live football and cricket matches while raising funds for the East Anglian Air Ambulance. So a fantastic cause, as I'm sure you'll agree. You can support the East Anglian Air Ambulance by playing Match Bingo. Information is on your screen and how you sign yourself up. Over 18s, be gamble aware. And good luck. As I always say, I have won a little bit of money so far on it. So, yeah. Not been too bad for me either, to be fair. But and you're supporting great work. Right, we've got a couple of comments. We've got Mike D. Travis, a good signing. Where does that put Gov's client, Mr. Taylor? Does he drop down the pecking order? Good question. Where does this leave the midfield options? Massimo Luongo, who's just obviously given up international duty. New signing coming in. You expect perhaps to play. Does he partner Morsey on a regular basis? It Massimo off the bench. Does Jack Taylor go further forward? Lots of sort of question marks coming up as a result of the transfer. Let me know how you see it at home this evening. AD Croucher, good evening, everyone. 2 signs already. A great start to the January window for AD. Love it. Keep those comments coming in. Hit the like, subscribe. And if you're watching on Catch Up, as I always say, FTA, comment for the algorithm. It always helps. I'd love seeing FTAs in my chat box. Just love it. Just warms the cockles of my heart. Right, let's get cracking with Dan from Rovers Chat. Dan, welcome in. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having us on. It's a shame it's in the circumstances it is, though, but I'm sure we'll discuss all that now.
Is it a shame? Are you not happy then?
Not at all, mate. Not at all. It's one that I think we half expected. I heard a little bit about it last night, but I'll be honest, I thought it were going to another club in your area that I'm sure you don't want me mentioning on the channel. So, yeah, it's been a real... Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the response from Rovers fans on social media that the frustrations there that we've got rid of someone who's very experienced, given the fact that the manager's been on the lack of experience all season. Someone who's made over 200 league appearances for the club, probably 250 if you're including the cup. And we're now in a situation where we've just got rid of someone that I'd be honest, if you'd have told me you were leaving the club in the next 5 years, I'd have been shocked. So never mind now. So, yeah, disappointment from our side. I'm sure Ipswich fans are loving it, and a real good addition to add to, the midfield pairing you've already got.
Yeah, it's always good when you do a transfer show when other fans that you bring on to sort of give you the lowdown aren't happy, because it means you're getting a good player, a good character, and all of that business. I've done transfer shows in the past where I've asked the opposition fan, and they've said, "Hey, I'm glad you've taken him," and you're like, "Oh no, what have we got coming here?" So I'm really pleased that you started off by saying you're not happy. Don't mean to pile on the misery there, but it's always a good thing to hear. So, what sort of player? Because he was your captain, so obviously a great leader coming in.
Yeah, definitely. So, just to give a bit of context why it's happened, so Rovers basically have Indian owners. They're based in India and they put money into the club, and they've had a bit of an issue in India regarding tax and everything, and they've basically been told by the Indian government, unless you're putting essential money in, you're not putting any money in. Oh, wow. So whenever we want to transfer budget, now we get rid of someone. So like the end of last summer, John Buckley, who came through our academy, ended up at Chef Wednesday on loan. So we took his wages off the bill to make a deadline day signing, and then he's come back actually because he's injured. So it kind of felt like someone had to go out the door to kind of balance the books as such. So in terms of the player you're getting someone that will put 110% in. I think that's the first thing everyone says about Travis. He'll still be going in the 90th minute. He's not going to give up on a ball and give up on a tackle. Exactly as that comment says there, basically. into every player, into every tackle. He's not, and I don't think he'd argue with it, that he's not the most technical of players, but I don't think every player has to be. I think you need players like this in the squad that will just break play up and give it out to whoever he wants to give it to. And this is it, that Travis leaves Rovers in a bit of a cloud. There's a rumour that he's fell out with the manager. The manager said in his pre-match interview for tomorrow's FA Cup game that Travis actually wanted to leave twice. Now, I'm not sure how much I believe that. I think, why would you have him as captain this season if he wanted to leave in the summer? I don't see the point of him having that armband. But yeah, just a player that's going to give everything. And I've said to other Ipswich fans, and I've said to Rovers fans, that maybe Travis isn't a signing that you might sit there and look at and think, wow, this is a promotion changing signing in terms of saying if you brought a striker in that scores 20.
Yep.
But he's one that you'll look at and you'll think, given we've got Luongo, given we've got Morsi, it's a very good option to have, because I know what Morsi's like with his bookings and everything. So he's definitely an option that I think if you lose one of Morsi or Luongo for a bit, you'll go, oh, but we've got Travis. We've got that third option, which maybe you might not have had before. So I think it's a brilliant addition for Ipswich.
Love to hear that. Obviously, he hasn't had complete run of midfield for Blackburn. He's not played every single game in that regard. So, are we expecting him to come in because he's still a bit of starter here, or do you think he'd be content with playing that squad role as he's been playing at Blackburn? How do you see it, sort of the dynamic playing out from a Rovers perspective?
See, this is the thing I saw, because I look at your midfield two of Luongo and Morsi and think, well, I won't take Morsi out. I'm pretty sure that's the common theme as well. Does he come in, like you say, for Luongo? Does he come as a replacement? It'll be interesting one. Travis last year found himself out of the Rovers side and he fought his way back in, so he's not afraid of, coming. He will go and he will go, I want to displace Morsi, I want to displace Luongo, like you'd want from him.
Winner's mentality, love that.
Yeah, that's it. And I think for me that he'll sit there looking at the squad thinking, I'm probably going to get more game time than he did at Rovers, because he knows your midfield two. Our midfield two, for anyone who doesn't know them, he's Adam Wharton, who's been compared to Alex Scott a lot, so we kind of play him all the time, boost his value. And Sondre Tronstad, who's a midfielder that's come from the Dutch league, made over 100 appearances, so he's a really talented midfielder. So he's just been sat behind them. He can also play at right back as well if you need, which I imagine will have been a little bit on the mind of Kieran McKenna, that he's got the versatility to play right back. He's played left back this year, but I think scraping the barrel if you put him at left back. But ultimately, well, that's exactly it. That's a comment Mowbray made about him, that he would actually tackle his own granny. And that's true. He'll put his feet in. And this is what I say. People have been critical of him. And I'll admit at times that maybe in our midfield too, you have to be a bit more technical. And Travis isn't that. That's no disrespect to him, but he's not that player. But in a midfield and maybe in a team that has more ability than Rovers and more quality around him, I think he'll really suit his role, because he can break play up and give it to someone who's going to cause issues, give it to Broadhead, give it to Amari Hutchinson, whoever's playing. And I just think he'll be an addition to the Ipswich side that maybe goes under the radar, because he's not going to come in and score 10 goals. He probably won't score a goal, but he'll still have that impact.
Does it seem strange? Rob Holmes asks here, Dan, does it seem strange you've only loaned him to run the Championship team rather than sell with your financial issues?
That was my issue with it. I said on our podcast the other day that if I were going to get rid of him, I'd sell him, because it'd be money in the loan. For me, the loan would be like, well, if you're loaning him out, if he comes back in the summer and he's fell out with a manager, apparently, if our manager's going to be here, you might as well get rid of him anyway, because the manager's not going to play him. I'd just get rid of him. And that's not, I don't want to get rid of him, but I'd sit there and say, do you know what? Financially, exactly as that comment says, why not just sell him? Why not? Even if it's for maybe an amount that should be less. What's us bringing a Brighton midfielder in on loan going to do for the squad? Nothing. I don't get it.
Yeah, an interesting one. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned obviously his versatility. We've seen that written, and in fact, somebody started the show in the chat by saying, "I thought we'd signed a defender, on a midfield player." Obviously, his favourite position and his strongest position is the central of midfield. But where else can he play?
Right back's his other main role. So he came through. I used to watch a bit of the under-21s as well, and that was kind of his role at first. That he'd be a right back. But then he kind of got developed into the midfielder. I wouldn't put him right back personally. I don't think he's a, second half of the season, you wouldn't just keep him for right back. He should be a midfielder. I think he becomes the right back that say you need to take your right back off with half hour to go, you then move him to right back, and say you need to put 5 at the back, you might move him to a wing back role because he can do it, just not at a consistent level like you would in the midfield.
Okay. Do you know much about Dominic Ball? Because I've got a question about what's the difference between Travis and Dominic Ball. But if you don't know much about Dominic Ball, you're probably not going to be able to answer that question.
If you tell me what Dom Ball maybe he's good at, and I can bounce off that.
That'll be very.
Or is it not much?
We've not seen enough of Dominic Ball to say what he's good at, to be fair, in all honesty. I've got 2 other questions for you coming to the chat. First of all, how much would you want for him if you were going to sell him, Travis, that is? What would you expect that transfer fee to be?
I'd expect it to be north of $1 million. I won't expect too much more, just because he's not in the youth category anymore. He's a bit older. It'd be tough. It'd be depend if we're selling him to Ipswich and he had a good loan spell. I'm sure we'd put the figure up a little bit. But for me, I'd be pushed. If we got 2 million, I won't argue with it. I'll be honest.
Okay, and obviously you've got these financial issues currently at Blackburn. Sammy Skabotics. Do you reckon there's a conversation to be had there, like between Ashton and co?
Stay away. Stay away from Sammy. I don't know. Again, I mentioned this before, that if I were a club up there in the top 6 that needs that bit of extra thingy, I'd definitely ask the question. I don't think you get him, I'll be honest, because the way our financial situation is, we're not in financial difficulty of the club going under.
No.
We're just in terms of improving the squad. So I think the risk could be, does X amount for Sammy Smodits make it worth it to sell him and to kind of improve the squad in another way? I think we'd be talking figures that I don't think many Championship clubs have, although if a big comes in, who knows where we'll be. Yeah,
we've got 3 parachute teams there, obviously. Not that I'm saying they're looking at him, but there are only a few teams, is what you're saying, in this division that perhaps could afford it. Because you've not got those going under problems. What you've got is a 1 out, 1 in. To give your manager some ability in the market and some flexibility, you need to create that budget, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. We just need, it's, like I say, nothing to do with, they're not worried about paying wages, at least at the moment. But again, does the issue come of, say, you get 6 million in, are you allowed to spend that 6 million? Does that 6 million not look better keeping the lights on and not having to keep going to the owners saying, oh, can we have another 2 million? Can we have another 2? So it'd be interesting to see, because we've also got David Raya, who's at Arsenal. We're potentially getting money for him this window as a sell-on fee. So where we stand financially, and this is the issue, and this is why Travis came as a shot. No one actually knows how deep the financial stuff is. It could easily be much deeper than they're telling us because they don't want to worry, or it could be very exaggerated like we've seen the media do before.
Perfect. Anything else you want to say to us before you go enjoy your Friday night, Dan?
Not really. Just, I'm sure he'll do well for you. I'm sure he'll give you that bit of extra. I won't say extra fight. You've got the midfield too. We know what Sam Morris is like, but I think he'll just give you that option. Don't expect him to be this incredible midfielder. Just expect him to add that bit of security in the midfield. I think I look at your 3 and go for. You look at Morsi, Luongo and Travis and you go, any 2 of them I think could do the job. And that's the main thing from what do we do if we lose Morsi, or what do we do if we lose Luongo. So just enjoy him. I hope he doesn't stay, but enjoy him.
One last question. As to do a talk, and then I saw a question sort of come in. I'll tack onto the back of that, Mike D's comment. What is his ceiling, do you feel? Obviously 27 years of age. If we were to get promoted, do you see him being a Premier League midfield player? Do you think Championship is his ceiling? Where is it for you?
For me, it is the Championship. But if he sat in that midfield, because you'd assume that if Ipswich went up to the Premier League, you'd probably be defending a bit more. So then we'd probably say that's probably his strength, because this is his criticism at Rovers. Like I said before, that his attacking side is what I've been criticising before. Defensively, I've never once said, do you know what, he's a bit naff at that. Whereas, so if he's going to have to defend more, it might be up there. It'll be interesting to see where his future lies in the summer, especially if Ipswich do manage to get up.
Perfect. Perfect. Enjoy your Friday night, Dan, and really do appreciate you coming on. Look after yourself.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
All the Best. We'll get a couple of comments that I've got. Richard Chandler and Phil Blundell. Bring Richard in first. Dr. Zach King. Good evening, all. Looks like a good signing to me. More ball cover, but very capable of Morsi Luongo. Different to Taylor. Mike D. Luongo's been unbelievable. I wouldn't be dropping him, but where would you play Travis? Harps, two monsters in the middle. Shake a few teams up. Dorset Blue think Travis would be a great in a rotational role with Morsi and Luongo to cover for suspension to fatigue with not much drop-off in leadership. David, happy 17th month anniversary of being a member. Thank you ever so much, my friend. I can only imagine what the Discord's been like with this signing and all the names recently. If you want to get into this Discord, 24/7/365 Town Chat, you have to become a YouTube member or head to Ko-Fi, link in the description. $4.99 a month. Cancel at any point. You get access to Discord for the month. Yeah, come and join the conversation. The Talking Town community, loud, vibrant, and full of names. Probably normally. One that you're fond of, right, Richard Chandler?
What's one of that I'm fond of?
Transfer rumours.
I love a transfer rumour.
You love them.
I love winding people up about it as well.
I know you do, you little devil. I know. That's why I thought I'd bring you on that little segue there, because I know you do. But we've actually got confirmation this evening. Lewis Travis on loan from Blackburn. You've heard, obviously, Dan's thoughts there. You've got your own. What are they, Richard?
Mine is it's a completely no-risk signing for us. It's on loan. So if it doesn't work out, he can go back. He's not cost us anything. If it work out, I think it's a really, really smart signing, because much as we've seen Taylor play central midfield alongside Morsi or Luongo, he's a different kind of midfielder. And we do notice that, I think. I know you're a massive Taylor fan, and I am as well, but he's not the same kind of midfielder. He doesn't bring the same to the party.
Definitely.
But we've got a lot of free game weeks, and we've already seen what a free game week can do to our squad with injuries, etc. And game suspensions coming up for Morsi. At some point, Luongo's probably going to hit a 2-game suspension as well, I would imagine, because he's probably on 6 or 7 yellows, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think he's a really good, smart signing. I thought Don Ball played all right in the centre against QPR when he played. But it's an upgrade on that, without a doubt.
So just because obviously the numbers game comes into effect now, and obviously Travis can play it right back, pinch it at left back, but as Dan's saying there, his main position is central midfield, and anywhere else you kind of, it's needs must. Who is the odd man out here? Is it a Taylor being moved further forward? Does that then equally mean we're not as keen on bringing a striker in? Maybe if you're going to free up Chaplin and Broadhead, bring Taylor into that attacking quartet. Are you looking at Don Ball being? There's a lot of players for what is 2 positions. So where do you see it shaking?
I think we do see a bit of a change. I think we see Taylor play the 10.
Okay.
In my opinion. I think we get Taylor as a 10 or as more of a dominant one in some of the home games, if you don't necessarily need to have the second striker, as it were.
Okay.
Okay. Fielder.
And before I let you go, crystal ball, tell us the future, says Mike D. So I'm going to ask you a question there. I asked Dan, Sammy Skimodics, how badly would you want to see him in a Town shirt?
I'd like to see him, but, and this is being genuinely honest, I think he's almost identical, in my opinion, to Chaplin. And do I think he's better than Chaplin? I think he's up there, but I don't think he's as good.
Some 1-2 punch that, though, isn't it? Take Chaplin off, bring him on. Take him off, bring Chaplin on. I mean, that's just riches. That's me dreaming here.
It is totally, but I also don't see us signing him. I think if Smodics moves anywhere, it's going to be to the Premier League for a club trying him out rather than to a Championship club.
I think you're right, but obviously with the financial budget restrictions at Blackburn, you're suddenly more like, as a fan, I wasn't even aware there was this until today, and I was thinking, now I'm dreaming. I'm literally dreaming. I do know. Richard, go on. One last thing. Go on.
I was going to say that's the thing. The unknown thing to all of us is actually how bad are their financial problems. He's obviously relatively local to here. His family is still Colchester based, so is him coming back to this area that far off the card. You never know, do you?
You never know in football. Well, unless it's you, obviously, because you've got crystal ball. But we us mere mortals, we never know. Richard, we appreciate coming on. Look after yourself.
Cheers. See ya.
All the best. We've got a couple of comments. We've got Joe Curry currently in a McDonald's drive-through getting a large McSpicy. Joe, living the dream. Living the dream. I'll have a Big Mac, please. Do they still do the Big Macs with bacon? Because they do. I'll have one of those. Kev Hansen, good signing. He looks and sounds hungry. Should fit right in. I'll feel better when we get a forward in possibly Stansfield. McSaucepan from a McSpicy to a McSaucepan. Morsey is only 5 yellows from a 3-game ban. Norman says, forward defensive midfield player from QPR could play fullback. How is Travis an upgrade? I think he really is. And I'm saying that without really seeing the player play, but looking at the statistics on SofaScore of his season so far for Blackburn, primarily, he's got some statistics. Obviously, Don Ball hasn't featured for Town other than QPR, so clearly McKenna feels he's an upgrade as well. George disagreeing, say Taylor isn't a 10. Mike D. Travis makes it player number 26. So someone needs deregistering. Surely Aluko Evans up for that. Scott Maplethorpe, thanks for your comment, Scott. Really says ball signing, brilliant business so far this window. George B says Don Ball leaving. Yeah, could possibly be. Phil, how do you see it shaking out in terms of that midfield options?
I think we made two really good signings, totally out of the blue. I think this one probably the most shrewd signing that Ken has made, since he came to the club.
Okay, on what basis? Yeah. How is it? Why is this the most shrewd signing for you?
Well, I mean, look, when I say shrewd, okay, it's a shrewd signing in my mind by the fact that the media didn't pick up on it. And I'm going by the fact that what Stuart Watson said on their podcast from the East Anglia Daily Times, that he woke up that morning and he was none the wiser about it. He wasn't really aware that it was going to happen. This came sort of out of the blue a little bit. Excuse the pun. It did. And I think that, look, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think that McKenna would sign another central midfielder. I thought that, I agree with what he said about Don Ball the other night against Queen's Park. I didn't think he did a lot wrong. The only thing about Don Ball is that he's not. He's not as agile as Morsey. He doesn't pick the pass out as well as Morsey does. He's somebody there who stabilises that or tries to stabilise the midfield. And I think a player like Lewis Travis coming in, I think he'll do more than that. I think that he is somebody in the similar sort of mould as Morsey. I think that his passing will have a positive effect on the team in Morsey's absence. Mm-hmm. And is it too early yet to draw comparisons between him and Cole Skews? Because Cole Skews, with the way that Cole Skews...
I wish he wouldn't.
Long time gone, I know. But no, I get that impression of him. I think I've not really seen Blackburn play this season apart from the game they played here at Portman Road back in September. He did actually play that afternoon, but didn't do very well against us. Look, I think with the two signings we've made so far, they've been an upgrade on either the player that we had in before, mm-hmm. or the players that have come in that we've used as a stopgap before. I think he's certainly a better player than Don Ball. Let's just see what he can do. I'm looking forward to the Sunderland and Leicester games. I think we're better off with a slightly different, sort of substitute midfielder in the absence of Morsey. We need a player in there to shore up the midfield, because coming up against the likes of Leicester on their own turf is it's going to be a very tough game to play against. So we need somebody.
So does Massimo now drop down and sort of do the Jack Taylor role off the bench, last 15, last 20, every other sort of a game, or every one in 3? Is he arriving, in your opinion, Lewis Travis, as a starter to go so long Morsey? So in that case, you've got two players in the midfield who love to tackle and are aggressive. How do you see it?
Well, look, I'm still having difficulty seeing where Sarmiento fits in, but in my own mind, just on the basis of Lewis Travis fitting in, coming straight in, say, the Sunderland game and the Leicester's game, partnering Luongo midfield, I can see Taylor dropping down to the bench, and then maybe McKenna starts to rotate Taylor with Chaplin, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Sarmiento would probably rotate with Broadhead, simply because we know Broadhead's stamina is not that great. You know, I'm saying he does need a bit of a rest after about 70, 75 minutes of the game. So I think that will happen. And, you know, the rest really takes care of itself. Will Davis be back for the Sunderland game? I hope so. You know, he's got at least another week to recover from that calf strain. If not, then, you know, let's hope he's back for the Leicester game. So, but no, I think that, you know, moving forward from this month forward, you know, we will get back to winning ways. Do I think we'll win tomorrow? Probably yes. Do I think that we could do without an extra FA Cup or an extra cup game? So, you know, later this month, I don't think we really need it. It's because it's probably now going to act as a bit of a distraction.
Did you
for us.
say Travis played in the game against us and didn't play?
Yes, he did. Yeah,
too well.
I think on
he got an assist. He got an assist that day.
Yeah, but on SofaScore, I checked the scores out. I think he got an average of 5.4. Yeah, so that's
statistically might have been low, but got an assist. I can't remember him standing out. I'm going to be brutally honest, but then
nor can I. I was watching the highlights.
Rampant, so
I was watching the highlights before, you know, early this evening, and he didn't really. I think that he wears number 27 for Blackburn.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's quite tall. He's 6 foot, so you know, he's not. I don't think he is as agile as Morsey is, but I certainly think we'll be better off with him. Without having Morsey and playing, say, Don Ball instead, is what I'm trying to say. But it'll be interesting to see how McKenna, rotates his playing deck really from now on. I mean, say, let's assume that, you know, by the end of his transfer window that we'll get a new number 9 in. We don't know who that's going to be. I would love it to be Stansfield, but, you know, let's see. We've signed 2 players that really, I don't think hardly anyone predicted. So
nobody predicted, and as you mentioned, and obviously Stuart Watson, as you mentioned just before, wasn't aware. So give credit to the. I don't know who broke it first. I don't know if it was a joint effort. I don't know if it was literally 1 second apart. But obviously Phil Ham on the Ipswich Town side, Elliot Jackson on the Blackburn side. Those were the 2 I saw leading the way with this news. So credit to both of those 2 for the scoop.
I think the other player or the other position that might be affected by this is because we've got Davis out and Clark filled in, in the left back role for the Stoke game. Could we see Travis play that right back role instead of Brandon Williams, because he's not been playing at his best recently? And,
but then that wouldn't that then open the conversation up as to, if you're not going to play Brandon Williams as a second choice right back, forget the first choice for a moment, second choice right back, you're going to play a midfield player there, or, effectively, if I'd said this last week, Don Ball playing there, as he did do through pre-season, doesn't that open the question up about possibly, freeing up Williams' loan in terms of sending him back to Man United? So you have another loan option if you're not going to start in your world there, Phil, not start playing him as your at least your second choice right back.
Yeah, it's certainly a question mark. It's certainly a possibility in my mind. I mean, okay. I mean, so we as fans don't really know, what Williams is like behind the scenes or on the training field, but
thoroughly nice fella, and he plays good football. He's been injured. And he's, and injuries are, the human body is not one size fits all. Which, by the way, you can go to Stowmarket Osteopaths 01449613633 to get yours worked on. Physiotherapy, osteopath services. Freddie, thoroughly nice guy, runs the joint there at Stowmarket Osteopaths. I go there. Can't speak highly enough. I know we've got at least 2 Stowmarket people in our chat tonight, so I expect to see you going to Stowmarket Osteopaths. And if you're not a million miles away from Stowmarket, check it out. 01449613633. There you go, Phil. That's a segue, son. That was pretty. I pulled that out. I don't know where I pulled that segue out of from, but there we go. Rob Holmes. Ashton must be lining up a big transfer based on all the new retro ITFC Umbro gear that come out this week to fund it. 80, perhaps Kieran McKenna has realised how much we missed Morsey when he's not playing. I wonder if we have more of a control of the midfield. Just a thought. Whoa, good heavens, €50 from David. David, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Very kind super sticker. And he is gifted 1 Talking Town membership. So if you're the lucky person to receive that membership, you now get access to the Discord. Win-win. This is all good. All good. But David, you've blown my socks off. Thanks ever so much for that. Really kind of you. Really kind of you. Thank you ever so much. Mike D, I feel like we need a Hurst type. Hold ball up, make it stick. Stansfield off the shoulder type. Lots of talk about Stansfield. Lots of noise. Not quite sure if that one's going to be one that happens. I don't know. I haven't got the crystal ball in front of me. Richard Chandler's gone now. But George B, Clark Harris wouldn't be very good in the championship, says George B. In quite stronger, bit stronger terms than that, but I'll PG it. Charlie Setterfield, when are we actually going to buy? Oh, when are we actually going to buy a player? We can't become too reliant on loans. Last question there, Phil, as we close. Does the loan aspect of it bother you a little bit?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does a little bit. Right. I mean, I just think, you know, a team pushing for promotion shouldn't be relying on other club loans. I mean, can I be too critical of that? I don't know really, because look, I mean, we've got a Premier League loan in Sarmiento. We had a Premier League loan in Scarlett, although I would say he's not really Premier League
on
quality.
Tottenham's bench tonight, by the way. Could be playing in FA Cup third round action for Tottenham tonight.
Yeah, he could be. Look, I would say let's see how it pans out. I think 1 or 2 of those loanees are going to be stopgaps. I think obviously the Morsey one looks like it's going to be more of a stopgap for me. Will I see Travis being a regular once Morsey gets back from his ban? Will he just rotate between him and Luongo? Time will tell. It's unusual. So I was going to say there is a leadership question mark here. That we've got our captain in Sam Morsey, and he's a captain who's can be quite aggressive. Discipline is a little bit of a problem with him. There's a little bit of a devil in him. But it's unusual for me to sit here and talk about having 2 captains at Ipswich Town Football Club. It's unusual. This is like, with the 2 loanees that we've got in, they're obviously an upgrade on what we've previously had. But leadership on the field for us moving forward is now not a problem, because when you really think about it, Sam Morsey, Lewis Travis, and then you look at our front line. Hurst is obviously a big miss. Chaplin, I consider him to be a bit of a leader. Broadhead, I know that he drifts in and out of games, but being a senior player who can score the goals, I see him being a bit of a leader. I see Davis as a real leader, on the field, because
Wolfie?
what a wonderful and our Burgess. We've got leaders all over the park, and we're in a strong position because of it. So it's unusual to have 2 captains at Ipswich Town Football Club, but it's all grist to our mill. All grist to our mill.
Yeah. I mean, I think leadership can take many different forms, and I think some of the players you played with there, or mentioned there, sorry, they lead with their ability. They lead with their footballing ability. Morsey does both. I'm looking forward to seeing what Travis brings to the party. Mike D says team needs more leaders. Travis will help that. We certainly will. Definitely, Stefan asked, will Travis become vice captain? I'm not sure about that at this point of the campaign. You never know. I don't know. But vice captain, generals. I mean, they're all going to be leaders on the pitch, is what I think you're saying there, Phil, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Would Travis be more well behaved on the pitch than Morsey, says Charlie. Well, from what I've heard from the Rovers fan, not necessarily. But Morsey is Morsey, and we wouldn't want to change him for the world, because he's until now, Phil, arguably the only player that we have of that mould until now.
Yeah, I mean, in his absence, let's see how Travis gets on with. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be stringing those passes around for Broadhead and Burns and Chappers in no time at all.
Perfect. Right, Phil.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
One more thing.
Sorry,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the new McDonald's restaurant opening up here in Martlesham Heath.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
What should you go to?
What?
We should go to McDonald's meal when you go to McDonald's. What's your go-to meal?
Oh, right. Okay. It's, let me see.
12-piece nuggets, fries, large milkshake, right?
No, it's the 5-piece
No.
chicken select meal that I usually go for.
But sure, you want chicken, you go to KFC.
Yeah, but McDonald's is still nice. You know, you get one or two other sort of add-ons if you want to. I went to McDonald's this morning and had a couple of sausage egg McMuffins with a couple of hash browns and a bottle of water. And yeah, I was quite full after that. And I'm thinking that maybe I should probably cut back and go on a diet now. But
What? No, you don't need a diet, not at all. It's been such a long time I've been to McDonald's, in all truth, that I can't tell. Other than Big Mac with bacon, I can't. Even if they still do those, I'm waiting to hear from the chat if they do those or not still.
What about we go for Paul Mullin from Wrexham as the new number 9? If we don't get Stan Spiel.
I'm still on this McDonald's debate, Phil, to be honest with you. Vanilla milkshakes, they're always good for McDonald's. They're always pretty good.
Don't drink milkshakes.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not. I mean, say I usually sometimes if I'm feeling a bit down the dumps, I might go for a McFlurry.
What sort of McFlurry? Now we're talking. Now, if it's not a Smarty one, it's the wrong one. But what sort of McFlurry are you going for?
Malteser or
that's the wrong one, Phil. Right, Phil, you've had one more thing. You've upset me now. It's always going to be a Smarty McFlurry, Phil. They are the goats. They are the goats. That are vanilla milkshakes. Anyway, we're digressing. We're digressing. Phil, a pleasure talking football with you. Look after yourself, all right? All the best. Huge nose. Lewis Travis is a great experience midfield player, a younger addition to assist Mass and Sam when injury suspensions kick in. Now get Taylor up the pitch. Lots of love for KFC in the chat. But anyway, hopefully lots of love for Lewis Travis when he plays for Town and helps us hopefully secure promotion. This has been Talking Town. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. We're back tomorrow for our match reaction show where we are live following AFC Wimbledon in the FA Cup third round. Do join us then. If not, Sunday 1:30. But until then, with love, with care, look after yourselves. We'll catch you later.